Hello, let's talk about records again. And we're going Japanese today. I'm going to show lots of Japanese reissues. Now, when I'm talking about Japanese reissues, I'm not talking about Japanese pressings of records which came out when the records were new, but I'll start with a few just because they're quite nice to look at. Here is a nice copy of War, 45, Me and Baby Brother. It's the Japanese pressing. Not a difficult one to get, that one. And here's Roger Troutman, I Want to Be Your Man. Looking very exotic there. You wouldn't perhaps know that this is a Japanese pressing, but this is Alton, McLean and Destiny. But there you go, on the inside. It's in Japan, in Japanese. Again, likewise, Al Johnson. Lovely, lovely record this. I think I showed that the other day. Again, that's a Japanese pressing. Patty Austin, classic record, that one. End of a Rainbow. That's a Japanese one. And Angie Bofill, well, you can tell this one's a Japanese one because it does actually come with the obi strip, which is very nice. And I've discovered, because I quite often take the obi strips off, but for making this video I decided to put some of them back on. What a nightmare. Best just to keep them on, probably. Anyway, I don't really want to talk about Japanese contemporary pressings, if you like. I want to talk about Japanese reissues. And I showed this a while ago, a few months ago in a video, Heaven and Earth. Great record, this one. A nice Chicago soul record. And they've added a nice bonus track, the B-side from one of the 45s here, Promises, which makes it a nice complete package. And it sounds pretty good. I mean, I don't know what the original sounds like, but these Japanese pressings, I think they're really good because albums that maybe you just never hear, or maybe albums you'd never really hear about at all, they get a new lease of life with these pressings. And it's not easy. They tend to be quite expensive. So I've been picking these up over the last 10 years or so. And some of them I did pay a bit and got them when they were released, but some of them I just waited and eventually the price went down a bit. I got a couple of them used second hand, so they're a bit less expensive that way. And it can be great because, like I say, there's records here which maybe I certainly wouldn't have a copy of the original, and I don't think there's any other reissues available. And some records I just don't think I'd have heard of at all if they hadn't been reissued. And well, this is a lovely one, which I recommend. And I think this album is very well known, but very hard to get an original copy of that. And I don't believe there is an easy to get reissue of it either. This is Odyssey on the Mo West label, but this is a Japanese reissue on the Free Soul label there. Got this a while back. It's going to be quite expensive this now as well. I wonder if at some point somebody will do a reissue because it's very in demand. I do love that cover. Obviously the big famous tune here, Our Lives Are Shaped by What We Are. And there's a lot going for this record with that sort of folky soul sound that it's got. I think some people like to be a bit rude and sniffy about it, saying it's overrated. Maybe they're right. I think it's just that it's not a sound that's to everybody's taste. But when it's good, it's absolutely wonderful. So really nice to have that, thanks to the Japanese reissue. Now here's one I don't think I'd have heard of if it hadn't been reissued. And it was reissued by a label called Superfly. This is a 45 of an artist called Frankie Jivago. And Someone Stole Your Love is the name of the tune. And it's a lovely piece. I think this guy was from the Caribbean. I don't know if it was the Bahamas or something like that originally. And there is an LP that he did. And I think the big standout track from that is this one. So they decided to release this very nice little 45. And I will give you a little taste. In the 70s, there were a lot of tax scam labels where companies would release records but not promote them and then recoup the loss on for tax purposes. I don't know, it was some dodgy scam basically. But it just so happens that a lot of these albums that they actually made were really, really good, and they're very, very sought after now. And one such example is this one. Now, I've always been a bit dubious about this record. The name of the band is the 1619 Badass Band, which basically is about the best thing about this record is the name of the band. But I just gave it a listen again. I don't really listen to it very often. I gave it a listen again just to see if I was missing something. And it sounded a lot better listening to it again. I hadn't heard it for a couple of years. But yeah, this is a very, very sought after. Originals of this will cost thousands, literally. But it's nice to have on this reissue. Maybe I'll go back to it. It's funky. It's quite a funky album, as you'd expect from a band with a name like that. But I actually quite like the mellower tracks on it, but that's just me, I suppose, being difficult. But yeah, it's pretty good. This is on the P-Vine label, which is perhaps the most well-known Japanese reissue label. Nice to see they're pushing some of the other titles that they've got available. I know those two are pretty good. I don't know that one, but it's good because you can check out these things because they have a habit of unearthing these amazing records. Here's another couple of 45s from P-Vine. This is Burton Inc. And the name of this song is The Nation Song. To be honest, not a song that you really, really need to have, but it's quite a curious little soul song in my sort of style. And I remember they were selling it very cheaply, perhaps because they couldn't get rid of it. But yeah, really nice to get that one. And then this, the absolute classic, Starview, the Rare Groove classic, Body Fusion. This is a reissue on P-Vine, and the concept is very good. Unfortunately, the pressing has a problem. It's off-centered, so the record starts okay, but by the time you get to the end of the song, it all sounds very, very wonky and like you've had too much to drink. But it's a real shame because that's an absolute classic tune and very difficult to get an original. Very difficult. I don't think there are any official originals of it either, so reissues. So there you go. Can't win them all. Now here's another one which I don't think I'd have heard of if it hadn't been for the reissue, and this is P-Vine. And yeah, I'd seen this a long, long time ago, and it was always a bit too expensive. It was somewhere like 35, 40 pounds for a reissue. That's a lot of money, I think. But just recently it went down quite a bit. Somebody was selling one at a much more reasonable price, about 20 odd quid, something like that. So I thought, well, let's get it. And I'm really glad I did. This is William Odell Hughes. Quite a cool cover, cool looking gentleman. And I really like this album. It's a disco album, but it's got some mellower bits, which I kind of like. And the disco-y upbeat numbers are really good as well. So I'd say of the 5 tracks on offer, I think you've got 2 or 3 which are really banging. I really like that. And yeah, to get it for a slightly nicer price was really nice. So hold out. You never know. The deals might be out there, and then it doesn't seem so bad. But yeah, that's a nice one. I think we'll try a bit of that one. Now here's an album which I've seen people showing off. Originals almost impossible to get, and if you were going to get an original, it would be in the thousands. So we don't really need to do that. But there are reissues. Sadly, they've got a bit more expensive now, but at the time I managed to get one just about. It was okay, but it's got a very striking cover. This the band is called Tomorrow's People, and so I think it's another P-Vine reissue. Yeah, Groove Diggers P-Vine, and the album is called Open Soul. Absolutely fantastic. So you've got a bit of blurb on the back there. I don't know if that's taken from the original. Yes, I think it is from the original cover. And if you can see the track list there, better not show the lady's chest too much. You can see one side is more conventional with 5 tracks on it. A couple of really nice ones. I really like It Ain't Fair. Lovers and Friends, I think it's pretty good. Really nice. And then side 2 is just 1 track, Open Soul, 20 minutes long, and gets into a really, really nice groove. Perhaps you don't need 20 minutes of it, but, you know, put it on while you're doing something, while you're cleaning the house. It'd be great. Really nice, really fantastic. Great quality soul music. And I don't think anyone would be listening to that too much if it wasn't for this reissue. I believe actually there was a UK reissue, but they did an alternative cover. I wonder why. Yeah, really nice to have that one. I like it. Another 45. I got this one actually second hand, and sadly the owner had dispensed with the cover, which is a bit of a shame, but it's the music that counts in the end, I suppose. And it's actually a nice double-sider. Coco Cleveland by Hot Chocolate on one side. Sorry, that's the name of the record label, isn't it? Coco Cleveland. Hot Chocolate was the name of the group, not that Hot Chocolate, by the way. And the tune is called Ain't That a Groove? And I think the lead singer, or the main guy from that version of Hot Chocolate, not Errol Brown, was Lou Ragland. And this tune of Lou Ragland, Understand Each Other, is a real sought-after classic. So I got this quite recently. If you've been shopping in any East London record shops recently, that might look familiar to you. Yeah, there's been an amazing collection of soul 45s doing the rounds of Atlantis Records, and this was a really nice reissue which I got. Understand Each Other by Lou Ragland. Absolutely beautiful. Should we call it Cosmic Soul? Why not? I think we should. Yeah, that's a Japanese reissue originally. Really nice thing to have. I'll give you a taste. Another couple of 45s. This is on the P-Vine label again. This is the group Brief Encounter. I think this has come out quite recently. I got it a few weeks ago. Brief Encounter, and the song here you want is Human. Total Satisfaction and Human. I think Human was originally the B-side. Rather nicely, if you're that way inclined, it's on a golden marmalade coloured vinyl. Very nice. But yeah, beautiful tune. And nice to have it with the picture sleeve. It's a funny thing, the Japanese covers, when it's a 45, they just literally come with a piece of paper, not an actual sleeve, but there you go. And it's not just American soul and funk music which is getting a reissue by the Japanese labels, of course. It's Japanese music as well. And this is one which I think I may have showed before, by a Japanese group. It's actually quite a recent tune, I think from the mid-2000s, is it? This is Ryosenko. And the B-side here was the tune, isn't it? Tokyo Sniper, again, nice toothpaste coloured vinyl there. I'm not necessarily one for coloured vinyl, but those look quite cute, don't they? And here's a famous one as well. What's it called? Tatsuro Yamashita. This is the album Spacey, not Pacey, but Spacey. And yeah, great. There's this city pop, I suppose, but it's got a bit of everything, this, and it's got lots of jazzy and funky parts to it. The tune that I always knew here, because it was very big in the sort of breakbeat hip hop days, is Dancer. Yeah, really nice to have that Japanese reissue, because an original of that is gettable, but you're not going to get it for much less than 100 quid these days. So that's the way. Just one more record to show, which I really like. And again, another record which I don't think I'd know about if it wasn't for the Japanese reissue. And once again, it's on P-Vine Records. And this is an artist called Billy Wooten. And here he is with Special Friends and featuring Steve Weekly. And the album is called In This World. It's a highly imperfect album, I must say. There's some songs on here I can really live without. I believe there's one song with a banjo, which doesn't get much trouble from my stylist. But there are a couple of really lovely tunes on here. Chicago, Chicagoland is very nice. And my personal favourite, Dancing and Singing. Soft, mellow, jazzy, puts a smile on my face. Just my kind of thing. So yeah, Japanese reissues, I think, doing a great service. A little expensive quite often, but if you hold on, sometimes they do come up for a slightly more reasonable price, and can be a very sound investment. And even if you don't buy them, they're just nice that they throw a spotlight on these records, so you can go and check them out on streaming, on YouTube, whatever, see if you like them, give them a taste, maybe find something you've never heard before, something new. That's certainly what I've done, and I'm much better for it. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. We had a bit of rain today at last, so that was nice. Until the next time, all the best.
Dancing and singing.